Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video here to highlight some of the best PC Steam game deals under the price of $5 and are available directly on Steam, so this isn't like a third-party e-tailer or anything like that. A lot of great stuff discounted, so definitely you want to cover them, and a lot of things well under $5, so let's just get right into it. As a part of the Sega Publisher Sale, we do have Valkyria Chronicles, 75% off for $4.99. Really enjoyed Valkyria Chronicles, and even if you're not the biggest JRPG fan, this is one of those games that I would give a look to. It's got a great watercolor art style that, even though this game initially released in 2008, it has aged really well. Tactic style gameplay that's a lot different than your typical JRPG, and a good story to boot with likable characters, and it's a war story that, yeah, it does have some of its craziness, but enjoyable game all around, and for $4.99, definitely a good pickup there. Would strongly recommend Valkyria Chronicles, and yeah, check that out. Next up, we got Walking Dead Season 1, 90% off for $1.49. Awesome deal for the Walking Dead Season 1, and in my opinion, the Walking Dead Telltale games did peak with Season 1, although Season 2 is really good, and that's on sale as well. That's 80% off for $2.99. I would say get Season 1, see how you like it, and then you can check out the subsequent seasons, but $1.49 for Season 1 is fantastic, and definitely an emotional roller coaster as far as narratives and storytelling goes. Really enjoyed it, and yeah, Season 2 was really good as well. Not as good as Season 1, but Season 1 and 2 I thought were fantastic. Season 3 and 4, not as good, but still worth it to go through. Next up, we got Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 2, 75% off for $4.99. Now, if you guys know me, I grew up with Naruto, so obviously there's a lot of nostalgic attachment towards my perception of anything Naruto related. It's just something that, you know, I'm gonna judge with a bit of bias. But Naruto Storm 2 was a really solid game, and I really enjoyed it from a single player standpoint. In my opinion, it covers the best portion of episodes out of Naruto. This game does, and that is the beginning of Shippuden all the way up until Naruto's fight with Pain. I think that 150 or so episodes, you know, excluding that filler arc that's in there as well, but that 150 episodes or so I thought was tremendous. There's just so many tremendous moments in that 150 episode stretch. Pain versus Jiraiya, Naruto versus Jiraiya, Sasuke versus Itachi, Sasuke versus Deidara even. Just a lot of great stuff. Even some of those initial fights were pretty good in Shippuden, but had a great time with Naruto Storm 2. Recreates that portion and that stretch of Naruto really well in like a 12 to 14 hour campaign, and for $4.99, I think it's a pretty good pickup. Next up, we got Catherine Classic, 75% off for $4.99. An absolutely zany, wacky game, and unfortunately, we do not have the definitive version of Catherine on PC. This is Catherine Classic, not the full body release that was released on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4. If you do want to, you know, finesse your way into playing Catherine full body on PC, I'm sure you guys can figure it out, because, you know, the game is on the Nintendo Switch. But if you want a native release of it, Catherine Classic is still a worthwhile game to go through. The narrative is just so wacky and zany, but at the same time really good, and the likable cast of characters. Soundtrack's pretty good, and for $4.99, I think it's worthwhile to check it out. Next up, we got Hitman Absolution, 90% off for $1.99. A significant discount on one of the more underrated titles that you're going to find out of a really well-known franchise like Hitman. Obviously, Hitman these days gets a lot of attention for Hitman 2016 and onwards, but Absolution, I thought, was a really solid game, and I played this early on in my days of getting into PC gaming. Like, this was one of the very first games I played, like this, Max Payne 3, all in that 2012 era. But Hitman Absolution was a damn good game. Visually, it still holds up fairly well. And for action stealth fans, like, this is a solid playthrough for $1.99 as well. It's not super lengthy, but again, you're paying $1.99, so definitely a good shout there. Next up, another game that's super cheap is Alice Madness Returns, 85% off for $1.49. This game had some issues for a while where it got delisted off Steam, then it got relisted. Thankfully, it's back, and I think it's here to stay. And this is a game that I played back in the day when it initially came out. A platforming action title that is incredibly dark. Obviously, a title like this would suggest great setting and great ambiance as well. It's not really a horror game, but it definitely has a spooky vibe going on for it. And for $1.49, I think it's a great price. Definitely would recommend it at this price point. Next up, we got Final Fantasy VII, the original, 60% off for $4.79. Obviously, Final Fantasy VII is being remade with the remake trilogy. We've got part 1 on PC. Hopefully, part 2 will come to PC sometime next year. Unfortunately, Sony got to be Sony with their exclusivity deals, but FF7 was a really, really iconic game that I think it's still worthwhile to play the original. To have the original experience is fantastic. I highly recommend you to check out the Final Fantasy VII Echo S mod. It'll upgrade the visuals, and on top of that, add full voice acting to Final Fantasy VII. It's a fan-made, fan-done voice acting script. However, it's so well done, and like, even if it's fan-made, I'm sorry, like, Echo S was phenomenal in my opinion, and yeah, just still worthwhile to go through Final Fantasy VII as the original experience. And then I feel like it makes playing the remake even more rewarding, where you know where the original game came from, and still a lengthy game, obviously, because you got the whole FF7 story here. $4.79, a good pickup there. Next up, we got Far Lone Sails. An incredibly atmospheric game with some great art design and art direction. I think this game is incredibly engrossing from a presentation standpoint, and just found it very immersive. It's not a game that's super action heavy or anything like that, but give it a shot if you're into a game that's more centered around its ambiance. Has some puzzles in there as well, but overall worth it at this price point at $2.24. Next up, I mean, The Witcher 2 Assassins of Kings is 85% off for $2.99. You can get the Witcher trilogy for $13.02, but that doesn't include the complete edition of Witcher 3, which is absolutely whack. But Witcher 2 for $2.99 is a great pickup. I imagine a lot of you guys picked up Witcher with Witcher 3. That is like definitely the most successful game in the franchise, but Witcher 2 still holds up fairly well. Even being 13 years old, it still looks very good visually, and it's not the grandiose open world that Witcher 3 is, but still sizable amount of content, and not as lengthy as Witcher 3, but still fairly lengthy. Combat's pretty good, and yeah, worthwhile to go through this as well, especially if you enjoyed Witcher 3. I mean, Geralt will carry you through if you deem it to be a little bit more dated, but Witcher 2 still holds up fairly well. It's Witcher 1 that if you go back and play, that one is super dated. Witcher 2 still looks great, and you know what? They're fully remaking Witcher 1, so when that comes out, that'll be a great pickup and a great playthrough as well. Next up, Assassin's Creed 2, 75% off for $4.99. You guys know how I feel about the Assassin's Creed games from back in the day. Assassin's Creed 2 is legitimately one of my favorite games of all time, that and Assassin's Creed 4, and Assassin's Creed 4 is my favorite AC game of all time, but AC2 is right behind it, and it's still a great game. Ezio, one of the most iconic video game characters of all time, and the whole Ezio trilogy is great. If you're one of the 3 people that don't own AC2, really, this is probably more for the people that got into PC gaming more recently, and they probably played AC2 on PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360, and now if you want to revisit it on PC for $4.99, it's a great pickup. And lastly, we have Sega's Sonic Mania, 75% off for $4.99. Great throwback Sonic gameplay here, very much a throwback to Sonic in the heyday. You've got Tails and Knuckles in here as well, unique bosses and everything like that. Very much a throwback platforming experience. Soundtrack will harken back to the old days as well. Sonic Mania for $5, a good shout there as well, part of the Sega publisher sale. But that is going to do it for me. Again, a lot of great Steam game deals under the price of $5. As always, links to all of these deals will be in the description box below, and you buy them directly from Steam. While I do usually recommend you to shop at other e-tailers, I know a lot of you guys do like to do your shopping directly on Steam, and as always, if you miss out on any of these deals, I'm telling you guys, I would imagine that every single one of these deals is going to be available again by the end of the year. Maybe something like Alice Madness Returns, like that for $1.49 is a really, really good deal, and that being that cheap, definitely, maybe if it goes on sale again by the end of this year, it'll be like, I don't know, 80% off, and it'll be $2 or 70% off or $3, around that range. And same thing for Hitman Absolution, $1.99 for that. Just when you get that cheap, you might as well pick it up, because that's a bargain. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.